Okay guys, the time has come where I can reveal the greatest horror movies ever made. Not according to me, but according to you guys, the people that watch this channel. The results are in. This is going to be exciting. Okay guys, so this is going to be a countdown of the greatest horror movies ever made according to you, the people that watch my channel. Now, a while back, I gave you all the challenge of sending me your top 3 favourite horror movies of all time. And from that, I devised a bit of a tallying system to run a countdown on what was the most popular horror movie of the people on here and this Horror Hands channel community. So, I'll just briefly explain the tallying system. It's very simple, but what I did was your number 1 horror movie got 5 points, your second favourite horror movie got 3 points, and your third favourite horror movie got a point. What I did with that was I listed them all in a spreadsheet and just went along giving them the scores that you gave them according to what you selected, and at the end I ran a calculation and it totaled the top score for each film, and from that I've devised the countdown that's going to be in this video. Hopefully that makes sense. Don't worry if it doesn't, it's just a little bit of fun, but it has been very interesting to see what films have come out as the most popular. Now, have to give you guys a massive thank you for getting involved in this. I didn't think it would get the response that it did, but so many of you got involved. I got some absolutely wonderful suggestions, some quite surprising nominations, and it just means a great deal to see so many people get involved in this, engaging in the challenge and making this countdown what it is. So thank you so much. I had a total of 132 films nominated for this countdown. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to list them all so you can see what they are. So I'm going to show you from 132 down to 21. And then when we get to the top 20, I'm going to go into more detail, and I'll reveal the top 20 most popular horror films on this channel. So before we get to that, take a look at this list here. This is everything that was nominated and the points that they got, so you can see what films were suggested and kind of how they did in terms of popularity. FYI, the list really starts to take shape at about 35 down to number 1. You can start to see the more popular films emerging. But have a look at this. This is everything that was nominated. Let me know what you think, and then we'll come back and we'll get into the top 20. Okay, so that was everything down from 132 to 21. So what do you think about that? Was there some surprises in there? Did you agree with the list? Was there anything that you think should have placed a bit higher? Personally, I would have liked to have seen Tenebrae do a bit better. That's my favourite Dario Argento film. One of my favourite Italian horror films, but that just got the 3 points, but never mind. There was a few surprising ones for me. I mean, like Blair Witch 2, coming in at 34 with 6 points. That is a film that I didn't even think would be in this countdown, let alone do reasonably well. But that was Tara Darwin. You had this as your favourite movie. Tara, I'd love to hear more about what you like so much about Blair Witch 2. And I like it as well. I'm not challenging you on that. I just never hear anyone talk about it. But Tara had that as the favourite movie, and then Prof, you had this as your third favourite movie. So between you guys, you got this movie 6 points, and it did relatively well. It's kind of how the tallying system worked. But nice to see Fright Night get a few extra points. That would have personally been in my top 5. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is officially your highest rated sequel on this list, coming in at number 25. And then Demons, just missing out on the top 20 spot. That came in at 21. You needed at least 13 points to get into the top 20. Demons got 11 points. But nice to see that movie do well. I didn't think Demons would do much actually in this countdown, but it would be in my personal top 20. So it is rather nice to see that getting a few nominations and getting a few points. But let me know, guys. Let me know if your movies was in this one. If you like that, if you were disappointed. Yeah, let me know what you think about the first part of this list, and then we'll now go into the top 20. Just before we do get into the top 20, I'm going to talk about a lot of people that sort of nominated these movies, but there will be a full list of people and a thank you at the end of this video, just to credit everybody that got involved, because so many people did send in their nominations. I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged everyone in some way. So at the end of this video will be a list of thank yous. I really hope I didn't miss anyone. But yeah, that will be at the end of the video, just in case anyone feels they haven't had a shout out. But anyway, on to the top 20 greatest horror movies on this channel. So the first movie on this list, the movie coming in at number 20 with 13 points, is Day of the Dead. Yes, George Romero's zombie classic. I love Day of the Dead. Great movie. I love the look of the zombies in this one. It's got some incredible gore in this, and I really like the kind of the underground silo location. I think that makes for a pretty claustrophobic setting. Great characters as well, Dr. Frankenstein, and of course General Rhodes, who is an amazing bad guy, scarier than the zombies in this movie. And something about Day of the Dead which always unsettled me as a kid, which I couldn't quite articulate at the time, was that kind of as a kid you look up to adults to kind of sort everything out. Yet in Day of the Dead you have kind of not only adults but like grown soldiers, tough soldiers who still can't sort it out and are still out of the depths. That kind of really kind of got to me as a kid without kind of understanding why, but it's a really strong element of Day of the Dead. And yeah, it is a great movie. So Day of the Dead got 5 nominations. Buster X25 and Stephen Alvarez, this was your favourite movie. And then Andrew Bellina, Ponner and Cliff Field, you had this as your third favourite movie. I have to say personally, I quite agree with Day of the Dead coming in at number 20. It probably would be in my top 20, but it would be around that spot. So I do think that's kind of fair. But let me know, Day of the Dead fans, are you happy with this? Should it have got a bit higher? Let me know what you think in the comments. But your number 20 is Day of the Dead. Coming in at number 19, it's another zombie classic. It's Zombie, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters, from Lucio Fulci. So the gory zombie masterpiece, absolutely one of my favourite movies, probably my favourite zombie movie. This is coming at number 19. It does have 13 points, the same as Day of the Dead, so you can interchange that if you wish. But yeah, I absolutely love this one. As I say, probably the best zombie film ever. I just love it for the look of the zombies and the gore and the feel to it. The music is amazing. If you ever wanted to embody a zombie in a soundtrack, Zombie Flesh Eaters absolutely nails it. And yeah, Lucio Fulci was just absolutely nailed it with this movie. So yeah, great to see some love for Zombie Flesh Eaters. So this had 5 nominations as well. So Renee Peters, this was your favourite movie. Prof and Turn the Blue Iris, this was your second favourite movie. And H's Film Fan and Destiny Ranch, this was your third favourite movie. So you've all managed to get this within the top 20. So yeah, at number 19 is Zombie, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters. Coming in at number 18 with 14 points is Suspiria. So Dario Argento's psychedelic tour de force, which sees Jessica Harper. She enrolls at a ballet school, but there's some supernatural goings on, and a bit of a coven for witches, and a whole lot of creepy stuff happens, and some violent deaths ensue. But Suspiria is a great one. I've always loved the colour scheme of Suspiria. It's very rich in its colour, some great cinematography. Some of the deaths in Suspiria are pretty awesome, done as only Dario Argento could do. But the woman that's hanging from the ceiling and the barbed wire death is particularly memorable. And yeah, I just love Suspiria for its creative flair, and it just feels like Dario Argento just with full reins of creativity and just doing the vision that he wanted to make. And I do like those aspects of Suspiria. But Suspiria had 7 nominations. So Turn the Blue Iris, this is your favourite movie. Silent Horror Craving, Undead Sick 83, it's your second favourite movie. And then Evil Ash, Harold Angel, Martin McLaughlin and Vampire Jack, you had this as your third favourite movie. So yeah, nice to see some love for Suspiria. It's not my favourite Argento movie, like I said, I do like Tenebrae, but I do appreciate Suspiria for being an excellent movie. So your number 18 is Suspiria. At number 17, we have the first surprise of this top 20. This is a movie that I thought it might get a few nominations, but I didn't think it would get anywhere near the top 20, let alone coming in at number 17. But at number 17, Lucio Fulci strikes again, we have The Beyond, which is an awesome movie, one of my favourites from Lucio Fulci. So in this one, Catherine McCall, she inherits a dilapidated hotel, which is actually like the gateway to hell, and a lot of bizarre things and gory deaths happen as a result. But I was thinking back to The Beyond when I saw this had made the top 20, and it really does have some crazy elements to this one. I mean, the spiders, the tarantulas eating the guy's face is just insane. It's a scene that looks absolutely fake, but is still horrifying at the same time. The woman whose face is melted by the acid, the shotgun to the head, or the crazy zombie action, and a really quite horrific intro, which kind of shocked me when I first watched it. There is so much awesome stuff in The Beyond. So great to see this get a bit of recognition and come in at number 17. Let me know what you think about that, guys. Obviously, the movie has some fans. It has done very well on this countdown. It has had 5 nominations. So Richard Cranium and Wilma Wilmington, it is your favourite movie. Vampire Jack, you had this as your second favourite movie. And Cult Flicks Fix 24 and Undead Sick 83, you both had this as your third favourite movie. So yeah, are you surprised with this one, or should this absolutely be in the top 20? Let me know. But your number 17 is The Beyond. At number 16, also with 15 points, the next few movies do have 15 points, so you can interchange them if you like. This is just kind of how the spreadsheet calculated it, and I'm just going with it for the sake of the countdown. But at number 16, we have The Evil Dead. So this is one that I did pretty much expect to do rather well. I'm not sort of surprised with this one coming in within the top 20. Great movie. Evil Dead is just not got a dull moment in it. When I watch Evil Dead, I just get a sense that it was made with sort of real passion by Sam Raimi, and they just threw everything into it to make it entertaining, and boy did they succeed in that department. And of course we get introduced to the horror icon Bruce Campbell playing Ash, Some awesome gore in it. Very fun movie. Amazing camera work in The Evil Dead for kind of a low budget, trashy horror film that would become a video nasty here in the UK. It is shot exquisitely well. And if you look at kind of the video nasties in particular, none of them are filmed or look like Evil Dead and do the things that that movie does. So a lot of respect to them for that. But Evil Dead, again, this one had 5 nominations. Savage Matt Horror and Vampire Jack, this is your favourite movie. Margaret and Reg the Channel, you had this as your second favourite movie. And Paul Cook and Den Cox, this was your third favourite movie. So yeah, in at number 16 we have The Evil Dead. Right, the next one is a cool one. Nice to see this movie do well. So in at number 15 with 15 points we have Frankenstein. So good to see some old vintage horror represented in the top 20. Now actually Frankenstein was the oldest movie out of the 132 suggestions that I had. So it's done really well to get this far and make it into the top 20. I have argued on the channel before, not argued, I have sort of said on the channel before that Frankenstein is arguably the most iconic horror movie ever made. Certainly like Frankenstein's monster is a flagship for horror and horror creatures. So great to see this movie do well. I have actually recently watched Frankenstein because one of my upcoming videos is going to be on the Universal Monsters. And it was wonderful to see it again. Such a great movie. Boris Karloff is absolutely awesome as the monster. And clearly a lot of you guys still really love this movie too. So Frankenstein again had 5 nominations. H. Calvert, this is your favourite movie. Alan Scouser, Monster Gab and Jennifer Tochi, you all had it as your second favourite movie. And Silent Horror Craven, you had this as your third favourite horror film. But let me know guys, do you think Frankenstein deserves its place on the list? Should it be higher? Is it a bit too old? Let me know what you think about Frankenstein being this far down. But your number 15 is Frankenstein. In at number 14 with 15 points, this is the last of the 15-point movies. In at number 14 with 15 points is Psycho. So Alfred Hitchcock's iconic horror masterpiece, iconic in so many ways. Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, the shower scene, the incredible music, the twist at the end, Mother. So many great things about this movie, and it's one that I cite as being kind of the renaissance of modern horror. It's the movie that moved horror out of the dark gothic castles and into kind of modern day domestic surroundings. So props to it for that. But yeah, clearly still very popular with you guys. I did notice this getting a few nominations as the comments came in. Now this had 7 nominations. Interestingly, nobody had Psycho as their favourite movie, but it's had enough nominations to get it into the top 20. So Obi-Wan, Mike B and Kelly Madden and Movie Squirm, you all had this as your second favourite movie. And then Juan Luis Sapol, Tony Tintin and Jason Taylor, you had this as your third favourite movie. So yeah, still a lot of love for Psycho after all these years. And as I say, it is one of the most iconic horror films. So nice to see this do well. So at number 14, we have Psycho. In at number 13 with 17 points is A Nightmare on Elm Street. So really wasn't sure how this would do, to be honest. I didn't know where this would position itself on the list, but clearly very popular movie, great slasher film. I do love A Nightmare on Elm Street. I love its creativity and the fact that it sort of takes place within your dreams, which gives it a bit of allowance to be creative and do some kind of wild and inventive things. And of course Freddy, he has a number of creative kills and memorable one-liners and things like that. And yeah, awesome movie. I do love A Nightmare on Elm Street. Great to see it come in at number 13. Probably would be in my top 20. I don't know, might be pushing towards 20, although I do love part 2 more than the first one, so I might have to think about that a bit more. But it is very popular amongst you guys. 5 nominations, James Moss and Obi-Wan, you had this as your favourite movie. Bronco Juggalo and Matthew Wills, it was your second favourite movie, and Dean Fenton had it as your third favourite. So yeah, let me know what you think. Is that a good place for Nightmare on Elm Street coming in at 13? Let me know what your thoughts are on that one. But your number 13 is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Coming in at number 12, we have the biggest surprise of the top 20 for me personally. I didn't expect this to find itself in the top 20, let alone at number 12. It is a great movie. I didn't give this one much thought when I was putting this together. But at number 12, with 18 points, we have Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive, the awesome gore fest from Peter Jackson. Now, also, without giving too much away, this is the only movie from the 90s that has made it into the top 20. So that's pretty cool. But Brain Dead, Dead Alive is so much fun. If you're looking for an insanely gory horror film that's silly at the same time, it's like the ultimate movie experience. But yeah, zombies running around everywhere, the baby mutant zombie, the giant monster thing at the end, and I think the use of more gallons of blood than any horror movie to date. I think that record still stands. But yeah, great to see Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive, do so well. It did get 6 nominations. So Richard the Walking Boom, Someone Is Else, you had it as your favourite movie. Lee Fitter and Last Venom 76, it was your second favourite movie. And Jason Healy and Us Only, you had it as your third favourite horror movie. So you have got this movie well into the top 20 at number 12, and it's great to see. It's cool to do this kind of videos because you do get some surprises and some movies emerging as being more popular than what you thought. So your number 12 on this list is Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive. In at number 11, just missing out on the top 10, we have An American Werewolf in London. Arguably the greatest werewolf movie ever made. It's an amazing blend of horror and comedy, and it's still an awesome movie now. It still has the greatest practical effects, I think, of any horror film. The best werewolf transformation scene. I don't think that will change. And yeah, worth being in the top 20 just for those effects alone, let alone all the other great stuff about this movie. But this one had 8 nominations. So Lynn's Silverback Entertainment and Mariana Americh, you had this as your favourite horror movie. And then H. Calvert, 76 Flossie, Max Washington, Lisa Loves and Malachi Drake, you all had this as your third favourite movie. Don't want to assume, but it seemed quite popular with the ladies, does American Werewolf in London. I do know for a fact some of these are my lady viewers, so yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, American Werewolf in London, do you agree with this? Should it have been higher? Is there another better werewolf movie that you would have liked to have seen on the list? Let me know what you think. But your number 11 is An American Werewolf in London. Okay, we are into the top 10. And at number 10 is actually the movie that I would personally have at number 1, and that is Jaws. So with you guys, this is coming at number 10. I don't really know what I can say about Jaws. I don't talk about it too much on the channel now because it is officially my favourite movie of all time. I just love everything about it. It's been my favourite film since I was a kid, and that will never change. For me, it is the best movie ever made. A few people agreeing with me. Jaws got 6 nominations. Sebastian Weber, Heather Smith and Grumpy Andrews' Horror House. You all had this as your favourite movie. BBB, you had it as your second favourite movie. And Bog Zombie and Stuart George, you had this as your third favourite movie, which has got it into the top 10. So let me know, guys. Jaws should have been higher, should have been lower. Let me know what you think about where this one's come in the list. Very interested to hear your thoughts about what you think about Jaws. But yeah, your number 10 is Jaws. In at number 9, we have Friday the 13th. So the first of the franchise, the iconic slasher movie, Friday the 13th. Personally, this wouldn't be in my top 20, but one of the sequels would. I kind of like them more as they go on a bit and they get a bit schlocky and a bit self-referential. And I always just much preferred Hockey Mask Jason. I enjoyed seeing him a lot more. So one of the Friday the 13th would be in my top 20, probably like part 3 or part 6, something like that. You guys have gone for the first one. Friday the 13th getting 7 nominations. Paul Richards and Sammy, you had this as your favourite horror movie. Bog Zombie, Dean Fenton and James Mosh, you had this as your second favourite horror movie. And Gleaming TV and Joffrey Noodle Legs, it was your third favourite horror movie. So yeah, although not my favourite of the franchise, I do like Friday the 13th. It's, as far as slashers go, it's one of the best because it's just got so many kills in it. They're all really kind of creative. I think it was one of the first movies to utilise the summer camp setting, and it does so really well. I love like the Crystal Lake location and that kind of thing. Awesome music, and yeah, no denying its popularity, and of course the amazing franchise that it has spawned. It is my favourite franchise in horror. I will give it that. So yeah, nice to see it do well. So your number 19 is Friday the 13th. Coming in at number 8, we're up to 23 points now. We have The Wicker Man. So, interesting one. Interesting entry into the list. Number 8, The Wicker Man. This one, so, okay, for me personally, The Wicker Man wouldn't be in my top 20. And the reason is, and to be honest with you, I don't watch The Wicker Man all that often because it genuinely creeps me out so much, which is more of an argument for how good the movie is. But yeah, it's just not a film I can sit down and enjoy all that much because it is genuinely unsettling, which is, you know, top praise for a horror movie. So credit to you guys who have it as a favourite horror movie. But The Wicker Man had 7 nominations, 76 Flossie, Forgotten Realm and Nick Turk, this is your favourite horror movie. Jackalopium and Ponner, it's your second favourite horror movie. And Alan Slade and Horror Fan Andy, it is your third favourite horror movie. It is an absolutely amazing kind of folk horror. I can't deny it is a great horror movie. As I say, it wouldn't be on my personal top 20, but I don't feel I have much of an argument for excluding it off this list and within the top 10. I believe Christopher Lee did say himself it was the greatest movie that he ever made, so you can hardly disagree with that. But yeah, amazing movie, just, oh my goodness, one that creeps me out every time I watch it. But anyway, your number 8 on this list is The Wicker Man. In at number 7, we have Alien. So, Alien was one that got off to a bit of a slow start. I didn't notice any nominations for it at first, but it started to gain a bit of traction and started to get a lot of nominations and was a few people's favourite movie. So you've really bumped up the list, and it's come in at number 7. I have no qualms with this movie at number 7. I think I have talked about it on the channel as a perfect movie. It has some of the best characters in a film, one of the only horror films that I care about all the characters and don't want to see them get killed off. The iconic xenomorph alien creature, and I really like how they kind of created their own ecosystem for the creature. So from the sort of the ingestion of the egg, the chest burster, and then growing into the alien, that was absolutely awesome. I love the atmosphere in this movie. The tension in this is incredible. I'm always debating whether I prefer sort of Alien or Aliens. I think probably Alien is the better film, but I've seen Aliens more. But according to this list, Alien is the clear favourite. And yeah, no problems for me for this coming in at number 7. I think it would be in my top 20. So yeah, great to see this movie do so well. Alien had 9 nominations, which is the most the film has had so far. So Hudson, Eduardo Bueno and Joffrey Noodle Legs, this is your favourite horror movie. Richard Moriarty, Alan Slade, Cliff Field, Tony Tintin, it's your second favourite horror movie. And Wilma Wilmington and Michael Head, you had this as your third favourite horror movie. As I say, yeah, definitely in agreement. Let me know what you guys think. Should it have been higher? Should it have been lower? Let me know what you think of Alien. But your number 7 is Alien. Right, getting down there now, guys. At number 6, this movie had 40 points. Alien had 39. So just coming in above Alien. At number 6, we have The Shining. So Stephen King may have hated it, but you guys really like this movie. I do think The Shining is amazing. Stanley Kubrick was just a genius filmmaker, and although it deviates a lot from the book, I do really like what he did with the movie. It is a film that actually does scare me. I find it incredibly creepy, and yeah, lots of things that I love about it. I like the Overlook Hotel and the setting. I like the interiors of the hotel are amazing. Jack Nicholson gives the performance of his career. I also think The Shining has one of the greatest intros for a horror movie. As the credits roll and the camera carries us over the lake and slowly towards the Overlook Hotel. It's such a captivating entrance to a film, yet it's really sort of foreboding and creepy at the same time. Absolutely awesome. So yes, no issues from me seeing The Shining in the top 20, in the top 10. Don't know where it would come on my own list personally, but yeah, you guys definitely love this one. So The Shining also had 9 nominations. Might be Kelly Madden, Max Washington. You had this as your favourite horror movie. Wild Rover and Stuart George. You had this as your second favourite horror movie. Last Venom, you did nominate this. I haven't wrote your choice down, but Last Venom, you had this on your list. An 80s film fan, I think this was your number 1 film as well. So yeah, lots of people turning out for The Shining, which is, yeah, awesome. Again, no arguments from me. So your number 6 is The Shining. Okay, we are into the top 5 greatest horror movies on this channel. And at number 5, we have The Exorcist. So let me know what you think about this one, guys. I actually don't think 5 is high enough. I have said before on this channel, The Exorcist is probably the greatest horror movie ever made. It's not my favourite movie, but I think it's probably the greatest horror movie. Just so powerful, even to this day. But it has come in with you guys as number 5. 10 nominations for The Exorcist. BBB, Salem's Lot and More, and Den Cox, you had this as your favourite horror movie. Heather Smith, it was your second favourite horror movie. And Forgotten Realm, Obi-Wan, Movie Boff, Sebastian Weber, Monkey Tube, and The Horrible Show, you all had this as your third favourite horror movie. So yes, again, let me know what you think. For me, I think this should be more closer to number 1. Do you agree? Do you think that's right? Is 5 fair for this movie? Should it not have been in the top 20? Let me know what your thoughts are on The Exorcist. But on this countdown, it is your number 5. So at number 5, The Exorcist. Next up, at number 4, we have Halloween. So John Carpenter's classic slasher movie. Not the first slasher movie, but the one that kind of inspired them all. And particularly the one that inspired the holiday-themed slasher movies. So yes, with the iconic Michael Myers and one of the greatest music scores of horror ever. Personally, I don't think Halloween would be in my top 20. I'm not sure. I do love the movie. It's a great movie. I think it shows its age a little bit, and there's a bit of the acting in Halloween doesn't hold up all that well. PJ Soles and Nancy Loomis, love them both, wonderful women. But if you go back and watch their acting in Halloween, it's a bit off. But this is not the time to talk about that. Halloween is your 4th favourite horror movie of all time. As I say, I do love the movie. Brilliantly directed by John Carpenter. He is my favourite director, so nice to see one of his movies turn up in the top 10. Michael Myers, of course, is absolutely awesome. One of my favourite kind of boogeyman killers in movies. Donald Pleasance is awesome. And again, it inspired a great franchise. I don't know, I have a soft spot for Halloween H2O because I vividly remember that one coming out when I was growing up. And I also really like Halloween 2018, as controversial as that might be. But the original Halloween, you cannot deny, it is an awesome movie. It is an iconic horror movie and a very important one in the landscape of horror because of how inspirational it was to other horror filmmakers. So Halloween got 10 nominations. A lot of you had this as your favourite horror movie. So Evil Ash, Matthew Wills, Bronco Juggalo, Andrew Bellina, Dean Fenton, Jason Taylor, and The Trying Scotsman. It was all your favourite movie. And then Gleaming TV, Stuart Alvarez, and Cult Flicks Fix 24. You had it as your second favourite movie. No third movie nominations. So yes, let me know what you think about Halloween coming in at number 4. Clearly it is a favourite amongst a lot of you. So would you like to have seen it a bit higher? Let me know. But number 4 is Halloween. Okay, we are into the top 3. So at number 3 with 47 points, I keep forgetting to say the points. I will show this at the end just so you can see the actual top 20. But at number 3 with 47 points, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So Tobe Hooper's Grindhouse classic has got itself in the top 3. Awesome movie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's not one that I watch all that much. It's not actually a go-to horror film of mine. But whenever I watch it, I am reminded just how awesome and powerful it is as a horror movie. I love the setting and the feel of Texas Chainsaw. Leatherface is awesome. I love seeing him running around with his chainsaw. Not a huge fan of the dinner time scene. The repetitive screaming kind of gets to me a little bit. I think that probably could have been a bit more nuanced than what it was. But very little I can say about Texas Chainsaw Massacre that's other than all the great things about it. And yeah, like I said, I just love what Tobe Hooper did with sort of a low budget and all taking place in like a farmhouse. Absolutely awesome. I think still pretty much unrivaled in its just grindhouse feel and just the assault on the senses that it brings to you. Very, very, very powerful movie. As I say, I'd have to think whether it would be in my top 20, but I have no qualms about it being in this countdown and being your number 3. I thought this one would be a popular one. So this movie did get 13 nominations. Again, quite a few of you had this as your favourite movie. Just Dave, Monkey Tube, Silent Horror Craving, Gleaming TV, Jennifer Tochi, and Movie Squirm. You all had it as your favourite. Forgotten Realm, Nick Turk, Sebastian Weber, Ted Schrager, Unstable Freak, and Lisa Loves. It's your second favourite horror movie. And Film Wolf and Sean Blue Digital. It is your third favourite horror movie. So let me know, guys. Top 3. It's number 3. Should it have been higher? Should it not be higher? Again, a lot of you had this as a favourite. So let me know how you feel about this one coming in at number 3. But your number 3 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, at number 2 of the greatest horror movies on this channel. Number 2, we have Dawn of the Dead. So another George Romero zombie movie. It is your second favourite movie on this channel. Now, this is the one that I probably would disagree with the most. Dawn of the Dead would not be in my top 20. It's a great movie. It's not a go-to movie for me. And there's other zombie films that I prefer. Like Zombie Flesh Eaters and Day of the Dead. I just think they have better zombies. But this is not the time for me to talk about that. This is your second favourite horror movie on this channel. So Dawn of the Dead, there is some great things about this movie. It feels like it's the most epic of zombie movies. It has a very sweeping story kind of taking place across that mall. It's great seeing them sort of set themselves up and try and survive within the mall. There's some decent kills in the movie. I really like the characters, in particular Ken Foree as the stoic leader. I like the Tom Savini-led biker gang and how it gets all crazy when they enter the mall. And of course you do have kind of the undercurrent themes of kind of capitalism and greed and things like that. Scenes of the biker gang pulling off all the jewellery of the zombie woman and things like that. So yeah, absolutely amazing movie. One of the most iconic zombie movies, and your second favourite movie on this channel. So Dawn of the Dead had 13 nominations. Again, lots of people having this as their favourite horror movie. Margaret and Reg the Channel, The Horrible Show, Wild Rover, Cult Flicks Fix 24, Alan Slade, Movie Boff, and Sean Blue Digital, you all had this as your favourite movie. Richard the Walking Boom, Malachi Drake, Wacky World Lounge, and Nablonian 88, it's your second favourite movie. And Someone Is Else and BBB, you had it as your third favourite movie. So lots of people turning out for Dawn of the Dead. Let me know what you think, guys. As I say, it wouldn't be on my personal top 20. Let me know if it would be on yours. Again, a lot of people had this as their favourite movie. So how do you feel about it just being pipped to second place? Let me know. But your second greatest horror movie is Dawn of the Dead. So here we are, guys. Time to reveal the #1 horror movie on this Horror Hands channel. I'm sure most of you know what it is. Most of you voted for it. This movie has absolutely run away with this competition. Just to put it into perspective, Dawn of the Dead, which came in second, got 54 points. This movie has 105 points. And I calculated it 3 times, and I can confirm it is correct. 105 points. So your #1 movie by miles is The Thing. So take a bow, John Carpenter's The Thing. You are the greatest horror movie on this channel. 26 nominations. Absolutely lots of you suggesting this one. Lots of people having it as their favourite movie. Every other comment I looked at just seemed to have The Thing somewhere in the nomination. So it was a favourite movie of Jason Healy, Juan Luis Seppo, Cliff Field, David Santacarla, Destiny Ranch, Lee Fitter, Tony Tintin, Nick Paulson, Martin McLaughlin, Richard Moriarty, Nablonian 88, Roger Morris and Stuart George. Second favourite movie for Hudson, Joffrey Noodle Legs, Jason Taylor, Movie Boff, The Trying Scotsman, Monkey Tube, The Horrible Show, Savage Matt Horror, Max Washington, Paul's Pop Culture, Nicholas Burton and Film Wolf. And then Nick B, you had it as your third favourite horror movie. So it is #1. Gotta say, I have no problems with The Thing being #1. It's probably my second favourite horror movie. But I absolutely love it. It's one that I've watched more than most of the horror. For when I most watch horror films, is what I'm trying to say. Kurt Russell is awesome in it. I love the Antarctic setting. Arguably the best practical effects you'll ever see in a film, and from my favourite filmmaker, John Carpenter. So yes, an absolutely perfect horror movie. I would not disagree with this coming in at #1. So let me know what you think, guys. As I say, a lot of you had this as your #1 movie. So are you happy to see it come in at #1? Anyone disagree? Are you shocked and outraged that The Thing is so popular? Let me know what you think. But yes, your #1 greatest horror movie on this Horror Hands channel is The Thing. So let me know what you think about that, guys. A lot of information there, but I'd be really interested to know what you think of kind of the overall list of movies that were suggested and the top 20. I'd probably really like to do this again next year and just see how the movies fare sort of 1 year on. I think I'd do it a bit differently. I'd have a bit more of a choice and do the tallying system a bit different, but it's all a learning curve. But it would be cool to kind of keep this going as a yearly thing, just to see if the movies and the top 20 change at all. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with the majority of this. Is there anything that you sort of glaringly disagree with? Any films that you think should have been in the countdown which were omitted? Let me know. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and hopefully your name will be in the next clip.